Hello, folks, and welcome back in to another episode of Forced Takeaways. I'm your host, Tony Ballgame, and joined with me this week is a old friend of the show, friend of the pod, and friend of my heart and soul. It's Mr. David Freeburg. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be on the show.
You're welcome. I was planning, I should have asked you this earlier, I guess, but I was planning on putting a Lone Rock Bride song in as the intro this week.
Oh,
If
hell yeah.
you could approve that with the band and tell me which one you want, and I want to do that this week too. But more importantly, we'd love to have your thoughts just on the Packers in general this season and coming off of yesterday's overtime loss to the Bears. What your immediate thoughts after that game are as well, in addition to the just overall season stuff.
Yeah,
Kick us
well,
off.
my immediate thoughts were, like it was insane how close it was to 2014 NFC Championship game. Like the similarity, like I just relived the same experience, and thank God this was a regular season game that wasn't kicking us out of the playoffs because but like early getting into the red zone 5 times, getting no touchdowns out of that, having literally I've for ever since 2014 that game I've said to myself randomly, I just remember, like up 12 with 5 minutes left, we have the ball and we lose that game. And now whenever I think that, I'm going to have to think up 10 with under 5 minutes left, we have the ball. And we lost that game. And it's just like everything that could go wrong in the most important parts did, and you feel like you're the better team. And the nice thing is, like I said, it's regular season and we're not out of the playoffs, and so rather than kind of being just completely deflated about it, I actually feel pretty good about it because going into that game, last time we played the Bears, it was at home and it was tough. They were kind of running at will on us, and it was one of those games where I thought they should just run the ball every play and they'll probably win. And they didn't. Every time they put it in Caleb's hands, I was pretty pumped up, and he made us pay for it a handful of times, and it was really annoying, but it did feel like few and far between. And last time it wasn't enough, and this time it clearly was enough, but I think like the Packers dominated 98% of that game.
Yeah.
And there's a world where the couple balls bounce our way and we win that by 3 touchdowns,
Yeah.
And that's without Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. So, gotta be honest, before that game, I was really worried about it, and I was like, if we get a win, I just don't want to see him in the playoffs because I just want it to be over. And I want the stress to be over, and I just want us to have beaten them in the regular season and then just they can just shut up and go away. Now I'm looking at the playoffs and it's like, where are they going to get them? The Eagles or the Rams? Give me the Bears.
Yeah.
Give me that revenge game. Give me the Packers coming into it pissed off that they gave the last one away. Give me that game.
Oh, Lord.
I think, So yeah, the game sucked. I'm pissed about it. It'll forever be something that the Bears can point to. The only way we can ruin this game for the Bears is beating them in the playoffs or winning the Super Bowl. Even if we get to the NFC Championship game, even if they get destroyed in the wild card and we get to the NFC Championship game, if we don't at least make the Super Bowl, Bears fans are just going to say, who gives a fuck? You guys got the same just as far as we did, and we kicked your ass that game. So that's how I feel about that game. But I do also want to say, like, a lot of people are pissed at Romeo Doubs, and my thing with Romeo Doubs is it's all about expectations. And if you are expecting Romeo Doubs to be a number 1 wide receiver who makes every single play, you're gonna hate him. But if you look at Romeo Doubs as a mid-round draft pick, who's on a rookie deal, and he kind of performs like he's pretty good. I'm happy with how he's performed. My problem, I would have loved if he got that onside kick, but if this was the only special teams blunder that lost us a game in the last 3 years, I'd be like, Romeo, you got to get that. You let Rich Bisaccia down. But Rich Bisaccia has let us down. Like the Packers dominating from wire to wire on both sides of the ball and then losing because of 4 special teams plays is just like, that's the Packers. That is the Packers. And so I don't blame Romeo Dobbs. I blame Rich Bisaccia because this is just example number 30 of his special teams unit failing.
Yeah, Rich Bisaccia, he was beloved when he was the interim coach of the Raiders. People thought he was gonna get named the head coach.
I loved the hire. He was coming into, I don't know what happened. A lot of people are like, a lot of Packer fans are like, we're clearly cursed because he was the special teams coach coming into Green Bay. And since he's been here, he has been 32 out of 32.
He looks like Homer Simpson. He has like a perfect he has a very well manicured goatee to where it just looks like it's part of his face. Like it doesn't even look like facial hair. It just looks like it's how he was drawn. But so, yeah, I mean, I really respect that.
It is really crazy how like the Packer podcast and stuff. It's like at this point, it's just like I already know what the narrative is for him. I haven't listened to him yet this week, but it's just going to be like, hey, we're back again to talk about why our special teams coordinator should be fired for losing us a game. Deja vu times 50. Like it's just that's going to be the narrative. Is like I can't believe we're having the fire Rich Bisaccia conversation again after a heartbreaking loss where we outplayed the other team, or at least we feel we outplayed the other team. Obviously, they got the win, and I think their fans might say they outplayed them. But like, I mean, you look at the win percentage. We didn't punt. Like, we also like not even like like I said in the group chat, I was like, Carla, their field goal kicker needs player of the game. I like DJ Moore made that catch and he got all the credit, but their field goal kicker is the reason they won that game. Amazing job. Like that's. People aren't going to be talking about that as much as they should be because like the Packers field goals were like fucking 20 yards. His were like 48 yards. The first one, he basically kicked it wide left on purpose because he knew it was going to curve so far back in and it was perfect. I was great game by their kicker.
Yeah, he made kicks of 46, 51, and 43 on a night when it was windy and cold. And
I was gonna say he made a 50 plus, but before I said it, I was like, don't say that because that's crazy. He didn't do that, but he did.
He did, and he's been much maligned here in Chicago. He's had a couple rough moments, particularly I think in like it was like week 1 or 2 where they did on a kickoff they didn't kick it out of the end zone when they really needed to for time reasons, and the guy other team had a nice return, and they asked Ben Johnson about it after the game, and they were like, why didn't you kick that out of the end zone? He was like, yeah, we were trying to. And so people were like, people including me were like, dude, if your kicker can't kick it out of the end zone in 2025, he's got to go. I don't but
bro,
he was clutch. He was clutch last night.
27 out of 32 other kickers don't win that game with the Bears, I feel like, including the Packers kicker.
Former Bronco, Brian McManus.
Union
rep.
He deserved a game ball after that performance.
Oh, he got one for sure.
Also, another thing about the game that I huge fumble by the Packers not having Al Harris on our defensive back coaching staff.
Oh.
He has been a defensive backs coach for a long time. He was in Dallas, I believe, when Diggs was popping off with Dan Quinn. Now he's in Chicago, and all those guys, like, they got all pros who are injured, and their backups are playing like Pro Bowlers. Like, how is he not on the Pack? Like, the Packers, They get a lot of credit for being a great franchise when it comes to because they always have a good head coach. They always have a good, stable GM. They always make good decisions with the quarterback. But they are cheapskates when it comes to
Resistance.
assistant coaches, and they refuse to. Or often they've been better. Like they got Rich Bisaccia now, but most of the time, like an offensive coordinator leaves, and they go, "Okay, we're promoting the O-line coach," and a lot of times that doesn't work.
Mm.
And a lot of times you need to go and go, hey, this guy's been an O coordinator for 2 teams. He did great for a couple seasons. He did pretty bad for a couple seasons, but he had excuses. Like, let's give this guy a shot. And they just don't seem to do that. And so, like Al Harris, Dan Quinn gets fired in Dallas. Al Harris is like available. They're just not the type of team to go, hey, let's go get Al Harris.
They like to
And
they like to promote from within the
it,
family.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's a reason why they'll have units kind of underperforming for long stretches, like the linebackers did for a long time. And our
Mm.
linebackers, everything's better now with Jeff Halfley, but yeah, like that's also they kind of mentioned this on the television broadcast a couple times. But my biggest, I feel like if the first player on defense who gets to the ball carrier gets the tackle, you have a top 3 defense. Regar- Regardless of scheme. I don't care what the play called was. If you stop missing fucking tackles, you will have a good defense. That's the biggest difference when you watch a great defense versus basically the Packers for like most of my life, is that when I'd watch the Bears or the Ravens, I would go, the first guy gets the fucking tackle every time. And that's finally where the Packers are at. And that's when they finally have a top defense. And it's just like, yeah, you just got to tackle.
Yeah, people were pointing out when I saw someone point out like when it looked like the Bears were going to win and people were kind of already doing victory laps a little bit. They were like, "Wow, how is it possible that the Bears are the Packers are holding the Bears to this low amount of points without Micah Parsons?" Well, it's because they were like sixth or something in points allowed last year without Micah Parsons. So it was just
Yeah.
like it was already like a pretty at the very least above average defense last year. Nothing like crazy, but it was like solid. And then you add Micah Parsons, so that's why people were like, "Holy!" I mean, any team you add Micah Parsons to is going to be like, "Wow, they're good now." But it's not like the Packers had like a bad defense before. It was like
Yeah.
pretty good, and then you just got maybe the best pass rusher on earth. So that's why they were expected to make the Super Bowl at least, or to have a chance in the NFC conference.
Yeah. Also, if Ben Johnson can teach the Bears to follow the rules, they're going to be pretty good. But they
They
are,
do a lot of penalties. They do get a lot of penalties.
and stupid ones too. Like it was crazy how, yeah, I was like, the Packers the first drive, I didn't feel that great about it. My general feeling, I wrote generally not good, even though we got all the way down to the 5, because I was like, this is all bad. Like we didn't do anything. The Bears just had a bad kickoff with a penalty on the kickoff, then like a couple other penalties. Like they get a they basically, and we got 0 points out of it. But if we got a field goal off that, it would have basically been gifted to us by the by the Bears that first drive.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of the run game. A lot of it has been made about how good the run game has become after the bye week for the Bears, which would one would assume that means the offensive line is playing pretty well, and it is for the most part, but they still have it's kind of a weird group they have, and I think that's where a lot of the penalties start is like pre-snap weird like motion penalties and stuff. That last in the Packers game they had 10 penalties for 105 yards.
Yeah, and I think
That's a lot.
9 of them were pretty early too. Not like I remember seeing there was 9 for a lot, like early third quarter or something like that. So they cleaned things. I mean, that is it's. I've always kind of thought that uh, a symbol of a team that's about to break out is that they score on their first drives out of the half consistently, and also their
Mm,
first drive in the game, because it's like, okay, they see what they're supposed to be doing. And
yeah,
when things are neutral, they can do it. And they just got to like get used to it enough to do it when things aren't neutral, you know? And the Bears just are doing the opposite, where it's like they just do not look good, and then the fourth quarter comes and they are the Kansas City Chiefs of their heyday. It's very weird.
yeah. It feels like if they could, if Caleb got his accuracy up, and it seems like he misses easy throws a lot, kind of like Bo Nix does sometimes, where it's just like, buddy, just do a normal
That
throw,
is,
please.
and I got to be honest, the I don't want to sound like super biased against him, because I will admit that Caleb Williams probably has as many highlight throws as the MVP candidates any
Yeah,
given year, and he probably will for most of his career. But I do not remember seeing quarterbacks who miss the layups that often get it together. Like
yeah, that's
that
tough.
just that's I think Josh Allen did that, and he's kind of the shining light. But like, if you're missing short, if like, I don't care how amazing, and it feels like this, it's a common thing too, where it's like, get drafted high because your ceiling and your amazing plays are top. They're
Right,
amazing.
right.
But it's just, if you just aren't hitting the layups at this point, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. It's only his second year, and his first year he had, the total flaccid wiener at Matt Eberflus as head coach. It wasn't really doing any sort of development to speak of. So this feels like he's really only developing in a real way this year. Even though he showed growth last year too, but just you figured the Ben Johnson program was going to be more helpful to his career than the Matt Eberflus program would have been. So it remains to be seen, and it's not impossible. But sometimes stuff like that is unchangeable. But um, anymore. I mean, what are your like realistic expectations for like the Packers like in the playoffs this year, or where do you expect them to land?
I think it's hugely matchup dependent. I think, like I said, I'm praying for that wild card. I'm like almost hoping they get the 7th seed, because the Bears are basically locked into the 2nd seed unless they get lucky and can snag that first one. And so I kind of want the Packers. I'm like hoping we get the 7th seed, go to Chicago and beat them. And then I think I would need Seattle to get the
Mm,
1st seed, so that the next week we can go to Seattle. And I'm pretty confident in I'm not saying we'd for sure beat them, but I'm pretty confident in saying we would have a shot.
yeah.
And again, and then I think I need Philly. I'm rooting for Philly to knock out the Rams then in the
Mm,
division round, because once again, I feel better about going into Philly than I do going to LA and facing this Rams team. I think the Super Bowl is this Rams team's to lose.
yeah.
And so if I'm just praying they get knocked out, and if they get knocked out, I think the Packers can hang with anyone else right now.
I feel like if a Packers Rams playoff game at SoFi would be about 90-10 Packers fans to Rams fans.
They do. We definitely would be able to travel pretty well, but I'm not even worried about if we played them at home. I think they would beat us.
Mm,
The Rams look good, and I'm kind of a Matthew Stafford, not apologist, because no one needs to apologize for him, but like I'm a fan, I guess. Yeah, I guess I would say
defender,
I'm a
yeah.
fan. Yeah, defender. I think I I'm rooting for him to get MVP this year, because I'm sick of people saying he's not Hall of Fame material, or he doesn't have a Hall of Fame resume. And I think if he has an MVP, that would kind of shut up about 95% of those people.
And a second Super Bowl. Even if he
Yeah,
just
I
makes
mean,
the
I'm not
Super
hoping
Bowl
him.
and has a nice appearance.
Yeah, I'm rooting. That's the thing, is I want him to get that MVP, and I don't hate the Rams, but if the Packers don't win it, I'm rooting for Bills, Texans. One of those two.
Wow, that would be
That's my
that
dream AFC championship game.
dream blunt rotation.
Yeah.
I'm the Texans. The discourse around the Texans has irked me a little bit, as you know, because I want the Broncos to be discussed as the best defense in the league, and that people have been talking about the Texans in that manner, like their defense could take them to Super Bowl, blah blah blah, and they could. Like it's not. I'm not here to say that that's wrong or incorrect, but
when
Broncos
you
part of me is like, shut up.
Yeah.
Stop talking about them.
That's why I hate that Myles Garrett's having like this season when like everyone would be like, well, yeah, Micah Parsons, he's doing really good. If Myles Garrett wasn't around, he'd have a case for Defensive Player of the Year. And it's just like, I have nothing against Myles Garrett or the Browns, but I'm just like, grrr!
And I was talking mad shit about the Jaguars before today's game. I was on last week's episode. I was like, they're going to win. I need them to win by 15. Trevor Lawrence is a nobody. Jaguars are a loser franchise. And
yeah, I've been saying that since about week 4 because I got Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas on my fantasy team. And so now I fucking hate them both. Although Trevor's been okay the past couple weeks.
He really, I mean, he's on. I was like scouring his game logs on Pro Football Reference to try to come up with a take, and really I'm left with no other choice but to say he's having the best stretch of his pro career right now, and the Broncos just happen to land in his path at this juncture, which is unfortunate. And he fucking sliced and diced him today. Like I don't know, I can't spin it any other way. Like the third quarter, especially in the second half in general, like he was dealing. He was throwing heaters to anyone. He was running, getting first downs with his legs. I'm pretty sure he had a rushing touchdown in this game. Like, and they scored a lot of points, but the Broncos did generate a lot of pressure. They had 14 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and they lost. Whatever, 34-20. So it's just. I mean, if he's on a heater like this and can keep it going, yeah, they can make the Super Bowl. Like that sucks for me to admit and say, but like, if you get a guy hot for 5 games in a row, like playing with his hair on fire, like that's nice for them.
It's always been my 5 weeks is a little short because you could have 5 really easy games, but I've always said if you can string a half a season together of like Derek Carr, he had that season where he played like 12 games at an MVP level. I know it never worked out, but I'm like, Derek Carr could have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because I could have seen him pulling 4 elite games in a row at the right like I could see it happening. I could see 4 playoff games. I could see him basically the Joe Flacco test. Could you see him pulling a Joe Flacco? And that's why I kind of like Love is like, well, we saw him have a 9 stretch week, including a playoff game against a team that was supposed to have like the best defense in the league where he destroyed them, where he was basically the MVP of the last 9 weeks of that season. And so I know he's not always on like that, but if we make it to the playoffs,
that's why you get paid.
Yeah, that's why you get paid.
That's what gets guys paid.
So, but yeah, so I can see Trevor doing that, and maybe this is the year he does that.
Yeah, because I mean, he was pretty much as close to a can't miss prospect as you will ever come across. Like that year in the draft, it was one of those years where it was like pretty much a given that he was going first overall almost the entire season, and nobody ever even like thought twice about it.
Yeah, in my life, I feel like they say generational prospect every year, but in my life, I feel like there's been 3. There's been Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence is the only one who hasn't really shown, because like even Andrew Luck, I mean, he didn't really ever do it, but people always thought he had it in him if he just stayed healthy.
Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence had to come into the league with Urban Meyer as his head coach, which is
I mean, he's still young. Like
that set him back quite a bit.
The idea that Trevor Lawrence just has a 2 Super Bowl career in him 3 years from now or something is not insane.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put money on it, but yeah, I think, especially nowadays, like, with Sam Darnold and stuff, we're seeing not that he's, like, won a Super Bowl, but just, like, these where the league is finally appreciating that, uh, set and setting matters for, quarterbacks, which
And
is, like
coaching too. Like I think
that's what I mean,
Liam
like, which is set and setting is, like, a thing they say for when you're, like, taking acid.
Oh yeah, yeah. You need a baby. Liam Cohen is a really good trip sitter, it turns out.
Exactly. That's what like you just have to you have to be in a good situation. You have to have a good trip sitter if you want to be a good quarterback in the league. And Aaron Rodgers knows that better than anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers doesn't even he's so locked in, he doesn't even need a trip sitter. He just goes in a dark hole and just doesn't speak to his family or loved ones for like a year at a time, and then he comes out and he's ready to have a 9-win season where he narrowly makes the wild card and gets pooped on Saturday at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Um
And we're recording this during the Patriots game, and so how do you feel about the Patriots as a
it
Broncos fan?
they piss me off. They really annoy me that they got good this fast. Like it's just such bullshit. Like I was praying for Tom Brady's downfall for pretty much 10 years, and it finally came. Not downfall, but just like out of the league. And it finally came. I was ready to watch the Patriots just be the like cellar dwellers for the next 5 to 7 years, and they almost immediately got good again.
But
They
but how do you feel about them like from a Broncos playoff Super Bowl chances? How big of
um
a roadblock do you consider them?
just based on I think they would be a tough out. I think it would be really hard to beat them, even at Mile High, or if it shakes out having to go to Gillette, because the Drake May deep pass is like just about the most surefire play. It's like running on 3rd and 1 with Derrick Henry, 4 years ago. Like a Drake May deep pass is a tough cover, and nobody has more pass interference calls than Riley Moss this year, the white quarterback from Iowa who plays for the Broncos. He commits defensive pass interference like just about once a game. It can be tough to watch. Sometimes he gets picked on a little bit, and sometimes it's a lot of the so many pass interferences are wishy washy. But sometimes he do be interfering sometimes. So that would be tough. Like I wouldn't like that. Like I would get really probably pissed off during that game, and I could see the Broncos being one and done if they have to play the Patriots for the millionth time in my life. It feels like, but yeah, I see them as a big threat. They're almost. I think they are the biggest threat to the Broncos in the playoffs in the AFC, frankly. And
Yeah.
hopefully you could just keep them out of. We can just be on the other side of the bracket and not have to let somebody else deal with that. And so maybe they falter and lose to randomly the Steelers or some crazy shit. But yeah, that's going to be tough if they have to play each other. They're winning
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. If you're like AFC's crazy because if you're like Houston or the Broncos or like the Jags or like God, any of these teams, it's like most years you would be like a wild card slot being like, okay, well, we're in the dance, but like, good luck fighting against the top seeds. But this year, it's like, even like Houston getting in, or like, I guess they'll probably win their division, but like, um, it's just a wild card. Anyone could win the AFC. Like Jags as a wild card could win the AFC, and it wouldn't seem that crazy. It would just be like, oh yeah, all those teams were kind of no one knew.
Yeah, like um, I'm trying to formulate this thesis that basically like we all having to watch the Chiefs be so dominant for so many years. The first year that they're not good or not going to be in the playoffs, everyone's like, "There's no good teams," just
Well, it's
because
not
there's
just them. It's like even when it's like well they've always been there, but then even along with them, it's usually a dominant Ravens squad
Ravens
as
or
well, or
Bills,
a
yeah.
dominant Bills squad, or a dominant Patriots squad before Brady left. And there was always like 2 or 3 dominant teams where you're like, okay, it's probably coming down to those 2 or 3. And same with like, I mean, the NFC is kind of open. Like I'm a Packer fan, so I'm freaking saying I hope we play the Eagles and stuff. But it's like we haven't beat the Eagles in like 8 years, so uh, so even the NFC feels like it's kind of like the Rams, Seahawks, Niners kind of at this point, even. Because I just don't believe in the Bears because I'm a hater, and their quarterback has like a sub 60% passing percentage. And Packers are injured to hell and all that stuff. And the Rams look fucking good. So it's like, who's going to get by the Rams? But there's no one that's like, who's going to get by blank in the AFC.
Right.
Anyone could get by anyone.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting field this year for sure. There's gonna be a lot of somebody's gonna win the Super Bowl that hasn't won in like probably a pretty long time.
Yeah,
Unless
unless it's the
Eagles.
Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it's the Packers.
This might end up being like the 2 years that Jordan Michael Jordan was in the NBA, where it's like you look back like 20 years later, you're looking at the list of champions, you're like, oh yeah, so and so won the Super Bowl in 2025. Yeah, that was that
Yeah,
year. Blah blah
it didn't
blah.
it didn't turn out this way because they ended up being good again, the Eagles, but like that 2017, it feels like that 2017 season where we had like Nick Foles, who was the Vikings quarterback before Kirk Cousins for 1 year, Case Keenum,
Case Keenum, yeah.
and Blake Bortles were 3 of the 4 like final quarterbacks. And it feels like that. We're gonna get a bunch of teams in the AFC and NFC championship who we probably won't see there again in 5 years.
I was so fucking ride or die for the Jaguars during that playoffs. Like I was locked
Oh,
into every snap.
they got robbed. They should have been in the Super Bowl. They got robbed
Yeah,
against the Patriots.
the Patriots. That was the first when they beat the
Maybe that was the
Steelers.
divisional round. Maybe they would have. I think that was divisional round. Actually, they would have had to win a game after that.
No, because
But
they
yeah,
did win. They won the divisional against the Steelers in
oh,
Pittsburgh, and
that was the
they went to
divisional.
the AFC championship, lost to the Patriots. But
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Duh.
that was the first time any team had ever beaten the Steelers twice in one season in Pittsburgh. One team beating them twice. And it's like really hard for that to even be possible because there has to be playoffs involved, but still pretty insane. That's one of my favorite trivia pieces like of NFL lore is that Blake Bortles is the only quarterback to beat Pittsburgh twice. So many memories. Remembering some guys.
Remembering.
Let's see here. Anything? Was there anything that you saw today that was just sort of interesting that you want to discuss before we get into the Puka stuff?
The Jags were surprising. Steelers surprised me too. Like I said, I thought in the second half the Lions, young, fast legs, and Jahmyr Gibbs, who's like the second, like the best non-quarterback in the league. I thought by the second half the Steelers defense was going to be gassed, and they were just going to run on them, and just I thought it was going to be like 10-10 going into half, and then just like 34-13 at the end. And Pittsburgh surprised me. Especially the defense. And yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the Lions.
Yeah, when they lost, I guess was it last week to the Rams or who were they played before that? I'm going back here. Anyway, one of their recent games I was watching. Oh, when they beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, or the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they
I
lost
was
on Thanksgivings to the
I was
Green Bay Packers.
I was like, maybe it was even during that game. But anyway, at some point recently, I was like, why not? What if the Lions went on like a crazy run? Like they have so much talent, especially on offense, and they have Aiden Hutchinson, who could be the best pass rusher in the NFL on any given like day, or like any given Sunday. But looks like that's kind of out of the cards. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe it was Ben Johnson was really their secret sauce, or the personnel stuff, or injuries, but doesn't seem like they quite have the juice this year. It's not like they are like dog shit, but they don't really. I'm not really betting on them to even maybe not even make the playoffs. Maybe
they're not making the playoffs.
Oh yeah, that's a bummer.
They would need like the Packers and something crazy. They don't play a complete game. Like even in this game, like they looked amazing for stretches, but then they just look moribund for stretches, and it's very weird to see because we're so used to them being a whistle to whistle disciplined team the past 2 years, where if you were going to beat them, you had to be on your best behavior the whole game. And now they're just kind of letting you get away with large stretches of the game.
Yeah. And their whole thing is grit, right? Like people wear the hats to say grit. I thought maybe a cool tie-in would be to change that to say Grinch and have some Grinch themed line and stuff. But
I mean, right now they're what they're playing. They got to play the Grinch and try to ruin someone's Christmas. I don't know who they got left besides. I know they play the Bears. But can't really ruin the Bears' Christmas. They could keep them from the first overall seed, but
and they did that. Mary was talking about that. She was like, "Oh, we played the Lions last week. What's that going to be like?" And I was like, "Well, even if they have nothing to play, the Lions are the perfect team that even if they have nothing to play for, they still would be down to ruin your shit." Like they did to the Packers a few years ago. Like when they were first turning around and they like narrowly missed the playoffs, but then they beat the Packers in week like 18 to do fuck up some shit for them, and like they're capable of that. I fully think, but that might be their highest hopes this season is being the Grinch. Grinch, that damn Grinch, dude! I will not rest until he's cold and dead in the ground.
I hate him.
I'm so hate the Grinch. People are like, "Oh, it's funny to wear the Grinch on my shirt," or I have a Grinch plushie toy that I wear.
It's like he steals presents.
Like, oh, cool. Do you also love Satan and the Hitler? You probably do. If you're on the Aiden Ross stream, you probably do love that. That's a good transition here. Let's go into. Oh, well, before that, did you see DK Metcalf swing on a Lions fan during the game?
Yeah, so he stayed in the game. Right?
I thought when I kind of like wasn't paying attention and they were showing like a replay of it, like a slow motion replay, I was like, "Oh, did they eject him?" And then it just didn't.
That's exactly what happened to me.
I was like, I mean, he kind of almost like hit it. It looked like he was kind of just trying to do like just like get out of here. Like it wasn't like a real punch, but like also I would not fuck with DK Metcalf even in like a trolling way. Like if he got in my face like that, I would be like, "Okay, sir, thank you."
It's a I feel like it's an internet thing. Like you didn't see, maybe because they didn't have cameras and stuff as much, but I just feel like you had a lot less people saying bullshit and getting swung on by like athletes and like strong guys, but now you have the internet and people like forget that like there's consequences to things they say.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of post-COVID like brain warp and gambling. I think and makes people. And a good point I saw someone bring up once is that it's especially all sports tickets are pretty expensive, but like NFL seats, like lower bowl NFL seats are, especially for a team like the Lions, probably hundreds of dollars. And
that's
that
could be probably the biggest thing.
Like who knows if that's that guy's only game he goes to in maybe a decade. I mean, like
no, I was thinking
they're gonna get fucked up.
I was thinking the opposite, where I was like, that's not Joe Schmo in the fans anymore. That's like a dude who thinks like, no, bro, I belong here because I can afford to be here.
That's why this ties into my thesis I have about like I remember last year we're gonna switch to NBA for 1 second. Last year in the NBA playoffs, people were making fun. don't change honest. Well, that's going to happen. People are making fun of the Heat because the playoff game during their playoff games, like the lower bowl would like not be full at some points, and you contrast it with Knicks fans at Knicks games, and the lower bowl's like always filled, and the fans are going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same thing of like the people who can afford lower bowl playoff seats are in like pretty much the 1% of their respective cities, or at least like the 3%, and that's just the difference between Miami billionaires and Knicks billionaires is that Miami Heat fans who can afford those tickets are like coke dealers or like real estate guys or whatever. Like they kind of don't really care. Knicks fans, Knicks fans who can afford lower bowl tickets are maybe like day traders or also coke dealers or whatever, but they are also diehard Knicks fans, like for real.
Yeah.
Like they are that rich, but they also like care. They are acting like Joe Schmo. They have like a Joe Schmo like fan vibe because they're like that's just how Knicks like fandom is.
Yeah.
So yeah, off that soapbox, back to football. Yeah, Puka Nacua. I had a series of unfortunate events, pretty much this past week, where it culminated, or the main part of it is that he went on this like far right streamers guy's website, who I only ever hear of this guy when somebody more famous than him goes on the stream and says or does something regrettable. And I kind of wasn't fault. We didn't even talk about this last week because I kind of like I missed it until after we would recorded, but I saw it when he had first I saw the apology. It was like Puka Nacua releases apology for making anti-Semitic gesture on a video, and I was like, that's the only details I had. I was like, what the fuck? Like, did he like do a Hitler's his Sieg Heil on Instagram or something? And
yeah,
of course,
the most fun part was trying to figure out what the gesture was, because it's not like there's one single gesture that just ever comes to mind. It's not like if someone's like they made a rude gesture with his hand towards the person, you're like, oh, so he flicked him off. That's not. Yeah, you have to like read. They have to describe it for you.
Yeah. So
It's
I
not
was like,
headline worthy.
I thought the only thing I could think of was like a Hitler salute, and of course the answer is far more stupid and fucking like brain dead than that.
Yeah.
He was on the Aiden Ross stream, and he was saying that all the refs are like quote unquote lawyers, okay, and that they try to they brag to their friends in group chats about who can make the most bullshit call in games, and they're trying to like screw us type of like shit. And Aiden Ross is egging him on, being like, yeah. You should next time you score a touchdown, you should do this celebration. And he did like a rubbing his hands together thing. And I don't know if they said the term covetous Jew dance on the stream. I could neither confirm nor deny that because I'm not watching a fucking Aiden Ross stream, like even for research. Like I simply cannot delve into that poisonous well. But that's what some of the headlines were saying was like Puka Nacua does covetous Jew dance, and I was like, that's what made the apology even more bizarre and bullshit. Is that he basically was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was anti-Semitic."
That is one of those things where it's like, that falls under those categories where it's like this is like a joke other people have made, where it's just like, if he's like, hey, oh yeah, these refs are so greedy, and it's like you should do this, blah blah. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's greedy, and then a bunch of people are like, that's anti-Semitic, and then you're like, wait, what? Why? And they're like, because it is. It's been done like that before, and you're like, okay, well, aren't you saying that's the greedy thing?
Right?
Aren't
Yeah,
you anti-Semitic for saying it's a Jewish thing? Like, but it's funny because it's like Aiden Ross for sure knows that. Is it? But Puka Nacua might not, and so it's just like you get caught in the crosshair. It's like, yeah, I think Luke Moniz has a really good joke about that, where he's like, look at the goblins in Harry Potter. They're Jews, and you're like, how can you tell? And they're like, well, look at them. And you're like, is that what you think Jews look like?
Jesus Christ! But then of course the evidence is that it's J.K. Rowling who is filled with has a hateful hole in her heart, so you know that it's Santa. But I mean,
if it was historical context, but
if it was If it was just that, you would maybe be willing to be like, oh, he's just a dumb idiot or whatever. But then he also apparently also on the stream, or a different stream maybe, I was seeing that he said concussions aren't real, that it's all in your head and it's just mental and you just have to like basically like be cool and you won't like have concussion symptoms.
Which again, if
And
I'm his PR guy, I'm like, yeah, that was a pun. He's 10 steps ahead of you guys. But then a reporter's gonna be like, was that actually a pun? And he'd be like, what's a pun? And the jig is up.
Yeah, Puka Nacua is actually not playing 4D chess. He's actually just a huge idiot. And then there was a report that he was trying to bring streamers. He may or may not have tried to bring Aiden Ross into the Rams facility, and Sean McVay had to like shut it down. And then he was like, going live on Instagram, and you could see on the like. Apparently the team had told him to not do Instagram lives after the game anymore because he was saying so much stupid shit. And on the Instagram live, you could see his teammates being like, "Bro, turn that off. Don't do that." And he's like, "No, bro, come on, man." And after the game, after they lost to the Seahawks, he tweeted and then subsequently deleted, but of course screenshots are forever. He goes, he trying to do the refs are trying to fuck me thing again, being like, could you say I was lying? Come on, I was right, blah blah blah. Then he ended up deleting it. But like,
yeah, and that's so funny too, because it's like that's after he like apologized and got
yeah,
pretty sure that's after he got fined for talking about the refs the first time. And so the team talked to him and was like,
oh
dude,
yeah,
you can't do this. And then the next day he does it immediately after the thing.
like
And
like minutes after the game ended.
And someone in the like game, I'm pretty sure it's just the post game interview with Sean McVay. They're like, what do you think about Puka Nacua's like tweets about the refs, blah blah? And he's like, we discussed that, and they're like, no, like the new ones. And he's just like, I don't. He just did that, and they're like, yeah. He's like, right now, and he's like, well, I'm just learning about it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. We'll talk to him. It's so funny. You can just like tell he's just like so annoying.
Jesus Christ! No, like the new ones. Yeah, I mean, like he's getting fined, obviously, so there's that. But like, will there be like further repercussions for this? Like, when he hasn't gotten a second contract with the NFL yet, right?
No. And I think that was probably a priority this offseason. So I would think he's got to be in the league that long, right? He wasn't a first round pick, was he? No.
He was a fifth round pick.
And so this is like his third year. So he'd be going into next year as his last year, and he's good enough where you don't do that.
Yeah, I'm seeing here he has an endorsement deal with Gatorade, so we'll see how long that lasts. How many? I mean, if we can get maybe our research department to check how many fifth round draft picks have done an anti-Semitic dance on a stream, and what their stats are on
Craig,
that.
can you get that on? Can you get that going, Craig?
Craig's on it. He just verbally confirmed to me he's gonna check on it. Yeah, probably one of the most prominent Mormons in the NFL. I think.
Is he actually, or did he just go to BYU?
Well, he went to BYU, but his mom is Mormon according to Wikipedia, so that doesn't mean necessarily he's Mormon. But yeah, definitely some weird Mormon energy going on with him. Now, I guess that's kind of all I have to say about Puka Nacua for now. I mean, he's really fun to watch, and he's
later.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that story is not done. I'm sure he'll go right back to the well. And I'm wondering if, I mean, this Aiden Ross guy definitely knows what he's doing when he has these high profile athletes on. I'm wondering if he's like purposely egging them on to get them to say fucked up stuff so that they'll get in trouble, and then so that he can be like, look, the woke media is blaming me for stuff, and then like trying to get these guys into the grift after they get fired from the NFL.
I think
I don't know.
He'd pay the fine. for him.
He probably makes more money than Puka Nacua. Is that fucked up?
Also, I think they just like it's like they pay their checks. I think they just garnish their wages. I don't think I could be wrong. I have no idea, but I always just kind of assumed it's like you have this fine, and it's just like yeah, that just comes out of your next game check.
I thought
But
there
maybe not.
isn't there a thing about Craig, sorry to pile on, but if you could check this too, like what happens with the fines? I thought there was like a charity thing involved with it somehow, where they like you ostensibly are donating to something when you do that, or maybe that's just the NBA. I thought I remembered seeing something about that. That might have been NBA or
I don't know, but
another sport.
usually with these things though, even if that's the case, it's just like everything has to be in the system anyway. So it's usually just like nothing goes direct. Like everything, the NFL has to middleman it all, so it just makes it easier to just like, yeah, it comes out of your paycheck, and then at the end of the year, we send this charity a huge check for the amount. It's like
I see. Yeah.
I assume again, I have no idea. Craig will let us know
Yeah,
next week.
Craig is telling me that they're sending it to Turning Point USA every year, actually. So that's a
Yeah,
little bit of a oopsie on the NFL's
all
part.
the concussion, all the hard hit fines and concussion protocol like missteps fines.
All right. Would you like to formally enter into the picks ledger?
Yeah,
Go
let
on
me
go on
just.
your
God, I gotta get every game and then just retire after this week.
yeah. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, we love to have you on again, but you're gonna have to participate in the picks. If you have a good week,
If
if
I
you have
have
a
a
fire
perfect
week,
week, I'm never picking again ever.
we've never had a perfect week. I think I had one week where I had maybe two losses. I think Jacob said
That's
maybe a
really
two
good.
loss week too, but we also haven't picked every single week. And also the week before last, just forgot to do the Dolphins Cardinals game or the Texans Cardinals game. We just completely didn't do that one on accident, so it's not a perfect system. All right, we'll start with the Christmas slate, which when they chose these games in like March or whatever, they probably seemed good, but injuries have taken their toll, and then we might be looking at three kind of stinkers, really. But we'll start with the first one, NFC East matchup, Cowboys at Commanders. I don't really even know who's. I think Jaden Daniels shut down for the season, and
Yeah,
Marcus Mariota went down this week too in that game on Saturdays. And Josh Johnson had to come in. So who knows what is the Commanders are even going to look like in this game? I kind of have to go with Dallas.
yeah, I'm taking Dallas.
All right, the midday game on Christmas Day, the day that we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Is gonna be Lions at Vikings. This is gonna be kind of poopy watch too, probably. Um, JJ McCarthy seems to sort of be having like a moment, but did he get hurt again today or no? Because I saw Max
Yeah,
Brosnan. I just looked at the box score. I totally did not. I hardly paid attention to any of the noon games. I came home. We were out this morning. I watched the end of the Bills Browns game. That's about it. But I did see that Max Brosmer appeared in the box score. So what's up with that?
yeah, I missed how he came in, but I saw him slinging some passes. So, and I don't think it was garbage time. I think JJ must have taken a hit or something.
He exits the game with hand injury and win over Giants. Sheesh, God, they should probably just shut him down. I mean, who cares? I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't want to get him hurt any more than he is. I guess I'll go Lions.
yeah, I'm going Lions, but they make me more worried every game. They look, I don't know.
The Lions have you worried?
Yeah, like they should take care of business here, but like I thought like I said, I thought they're gonna run all over the Steelers and
Right.
stuff. And every week I think they're gonna win, and they keep losing and looking bad, and so that's all I'm saying.
All right, and then the nightcap on Christmas Day is going to be a sort of similar to the last game of the season last year when the Broncos played the B team Chiefs and won. They're going to be playing probably the third. I mean, they have to play the third string quarterback, Chris something. Sorry to this man's name. I don't want to say your name wrong, but he has not had a lot of NFL experience. He is the third string emergency quarterback for the Chiefs because Mahomes is out with an ACL, and Gardner Minshew tore his ACL in today's game against the Titans, which they lost. I mean, the Chiefs are already down pretty goddamn bad. I mean, this would be a catastrophic loss for the Broncos. I have to pick the Broncos.
Yeah, and for all those reasons, I'm taking the Chiefs.
No, really?
No,
Oh,
I'm taking the Broncos.
thanks, dude. You could have if you wanted to, just to be different. You have to play the math game sometimes. Just pick a different team than me, just to do it. But not in this one. That's not a smart, not a good spot to do that. They're doing fucking Saturday games again this week,
I know.
which is annoying. Saturday at 3:30. It's gonna be Texans at Chargers. This will be a good one. Chargers both these teams have been winning and playing really well a lot lately, and even though I am a Chargers hater, I'm a Justin Herbert hater, but he's doing everything for this team right now, and I'm just worried that'll fly against some of the worse, like the lesser teams in the AFC, but this Texans defense is no fucking joke, and they don't give anything easy. Like there's a line for the blue tent during these Texans games, and I'm saying I'm not trying to be a Chargers hater in this game, but I don't see them winning this game. Like I see the Texans just laying the wood on them like big time. I think the Texans win this one pretty easily, unfortunately.
I thought you were setting that up at first to say Chargers, but yeah, I agree. Texans. I don't think it's going to be easy. I thought I was going to be the surprise pick on them, so I was ready to defend it. But yeah, I think even though they had a little hiccup, I think this is why I thought I was going to have to defend it, because they barely beat the Raiders today.
Yeah, that was weird. I was gonna say that for the biggest surprises of the day, actually, of just box score checking.
Huge. But yeah, every team kind of has those now and then, and usually afterwards the playoff teams bounce back, and it's usually kind of like a slap in the face, like don't get lazy type situation. I think they're gonna bounce back and play pretty well and get the win.
Yeah, and then I guess this game also on Saturday. Yeah, this is a night game on Saturday. Ravens at Packers. The Ravens are still playing right now as we record. They just scored again. They're up 24-13 against the New England Patriots in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter. So they should win this game. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen, but I feel like this game is very different depending on if the Ravens win or lose. If they win, like basically, if the Ravens were to lose to that tonight, this would be like a desperation, like absolutely gotta fucking win for them. It still is a must. I mean, every game is a fucking must win in the NFL, but like they still have a lot of work to do. They're still on the outside looking in, I think, right now, even if they win tonight.
Yeah, they have to, especially with the Steelers win, that they need to win out, I imagine.
Yeah, they need to win out. They need like the Colts to lose and the Texans to lose. So it's kind of a big game, kind of a really important game for them either way. Same for the Packers, really. The Packers are not necessarily firmly entrenched in the playoffs really right now, right?
Yeah, I haven't done the math. I haven't done my calculations. Maybe Craig can get on that, but
Craig.
I think the Packers basically just need to win one and we're in. I think so.
Okay.
Either this week or, and you never want to leave it up to the last week, So
No.
But yeah, so a little bigger for the Ravens because the Ravens have basically been in playoff mode for
like a month or longer.
Yeah, and so yeah, but Packers are not guaranteed at this point.
I'm going to pick the Packers in this one because I'm fully aboard the Harbaugh needs to go train, and I think this is a big spot for him. I think if he doesn't make the playoffs, he absolutely has to be fired. Like I don't see what excuses you could even say for him. Like Lamar Jackson's not getting any younger, and it's kind of an insane that he hasn't even really sniffed a Super Bowl in his career. So you're running out of time, and it's been a long grind with this Harbaugh show. And I think they got to rip the Band-Aid off. I think the Packers win this one.
Yeah, I think this week is going to be very telling on this Packers team. I think we get two options. One, they just look lackluster, and the Ravens get the win, and it'll honestly feel like the Bears broke them.
Oh no.
I think that's low odds. I think it's much more likely that you get a pissed off Packers team come in, and barring Lamar Jackson rushing like for 200 yards and being crazy against us type situation, I think Packers kind of just crush them.
Yeah, I don't think Lamar Jackson A wants to do that, or B like is even capable of that at this point in his career.
And I don't even think the Packers
season.
I think like 2 weeks ago I wouldn't have said that, but I think, like I said, I think playoff teams bounce back after losses a lot.
Yeah, especially like playoff team and like good coach, like game plan, expert coach. Like he doesn't. I mean, it is weird. It's an AFC team that they don't play that often, so that's not like they know each other very well. But yeah, I feel like Matt LaFleur will have his guys ready, as he often does. Next, this is a big intra-conference, and whatever one rivalry, the Battle of Florida, Buccaneers at Dolphins. Central Florida versus South Florida. The battle for the heart of a state, and the heart of a people, the home of many football fans of all ages. The Buccaneers should. Buccaneers better fucking win this one.
Yeah, it's got to be Bucks.
It's got to be Bucks. If it's Tampa, it's got to be Bucks. I hope Bert Kreischer has a nice time. He's probably the most famous Buccaneers fan that I can recall.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Biggest celeb. Have you ever seen him take his shirt off? It's really funny. He's like yelling. He like yells. He does this whole thing where he's sort of like yelling and talking over everyone. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a little highbrow for me.
Yeah, you're mostly just into the fail videos.
He's a little too dry.
Yeah, it's sort of like an understated humor. It's kind of like European almost.
I'm more into like the Muppets, the the Three Stooges, something.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, something with some funny physical gags.
Okay, yeah, not the intellectual heady Kreischer stuff.
Yeah.
So continuing Kreischer-esque material. Continuing our journey through Sunday. This is a big. Well, it's not really the big matchup, but it is a division matchup. Patriots at Jets. Patriots are probably likely going to lose this game. I mean, unless something crazy happens. So they're going to just need all the wins they can get. Lose the Ravens, the game that's happening right now.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to get as many wins as they can to secure the 1 seed. So and the Jets are just absolutely nothing happening there. Going to go with the Patriots.
Yeah, I got to go with my rule of thumb where playoff teams bounce back, baby.
It's your famous rule. Another division. There's a lot of division matchups here in the last 2 weeks of the season. Steelers at Browns. The Steelers would lose this game.
Yeah, I'm taking Browns.
Wait, really?
Yeah, this is a classic Browns win, Steelers loss for no reason.
That's awesome, dude. I'm going Browns too. I've got for some reason I've gotten like really into the Browns like media and like podcasts this season. I like listen to a Browns podcast at least once a week. and I've talked about her often on this show. Mary Kay Cabot, the GOAT Browns beat reporter.
Oh yeah.
She loves Shador Sanders. She says the word moxie when she talks about Shador Sanders every single time.
Because he
And
winks at her when they talk.
I think he has improved. I think he has shown improvement over the past couple weeks, and it's like who else you could dumbass is going to go with. So yeah, we'll go Browns.
Yeah, he still seems to kind of panic with pressure, but I mean, who
Yeah.
doesn't? I'm one to talk.
This actually is a huge division matchup with playoff penalty. I almost said penalties. Playoff implications. Penalties are kind of a type of implication, but anywho, could be Jaguars at Colts. AFC South classic. The Colts are just barely hanging on in
Yeah.
the hunt graphic with
Hanging on by a prayer.
with a 44-year-old grandfather at quarterback. God bless him. I don't want to see. We talked about this on the episode when this happened. I don't want to see Philip Rivers go out sad. I don't want him to get like really hurt or something fucked up to happen to him. But they're not winning this game, and they're not gonna. They're definitely not fucking beating. They have to play the Texans after this. Like, if you have to, like, I hope they lose this game so that I hope they are eliminated so they don't are forced to play Philip Rivers in the Texans game for like the division win and a playoff appearance. Like, I hope it doesn't come to that because that's going to be ugly. So I for the safety of Philip Rivers, I need the Jaguars to win this game.
Yeah, my heart wants to take the Colts, because it just would be so awesome if Rivers whipped out some vintage Rivers games, but I gotta go with my brain and take the Jags.
Yeah, so we've both picked the same team, I think, in all of these. So
we're smart.
We're gonna have to. Yeah, we are. It's great minds think alike. Totally. This is a bad game that does have big implications for the draft. This is pretty much the Tank Bowl. Winner, the loser of this game is probably going to get the number one overall number one overall pick, number one overall seed in the draft. Possibly, it's Saints at. Oh no, not this game. Actually, a game later in the slot will be that game. But this will still have draft implications, as all games do. Saints at Titans. Titans randomly won today because the Chiefs had to play their emergency quarterback, but don't see that happening again. I'm probably going to go Saints here.
Yeah, I mean, great minds think alike. The Saints are going to win.
Okay, we're in lockstep here. Love it. Seahawks at Panthers. Oh man, this one's kind of fun.
I think it'll be fun, and I think the Panthers have been a really fun team this year, a real dangerous team. It's been fun. I mean, other than the Packers losing to them, that was annoying. But like from an unbiased, neutral standpoint, they've been a fun, sneaky, what's the word scrappy team to kind of throw a wrench in a lot of seasons. And
totally.
So I could see them definitely pulling this one out, but I'm going with Seattle. I think they're really good, and Sam Darnold's playing great. For the most part.
He almost looked like he was going to have a Sam Darnold moment last week.
Yeah,
and then he pulled out. He was given a lot of chances to win it, and finally did do it. So I'm not fully willing to say he's gotten over the hump and isn't a disaster class anymore. But this will be another chance for him to, to win a game he really needs to win, because they have a shot at the 1 seed also. It's like so many of these top, pretty much for the seeds 1 through 5 currently in the NFC, all pretty much have a shot at the 1 seed if things go right. So they're going to be playing for real on this one. Panthers have a shot at the division. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks though. Unfortunately, the defense is just too good. Even though it's in old Carolina, I think think the boys from the Pacific Northwest pulled this one out. This was a shit show. Cardinals and Bengals. Who gives a fucking shit about this game? I mean, the Bengals put up a 40 burger on the fucking Dolphins today, so there's that. But
yeah, I think that's gonna be kind of similar. Where I think they're gonna do real good against a Arizona team that I do not believe in.
yeah, I kind of don't trust this. I can't believe I ever trusted in this Cardinals team. There were people in the world were saying they have a good coaching staff, like earnestly saying that. Like Albert Breer said that out loud, and then I did too. So
I
what are you
mean,
gonna
I
do?
don't know. I feel like they're hard to evaluate because there's such you don't see them on big games very often, so it's like I just in general don't see them a lot. And two, either Kyler Murray's being streaky or he's being injured, and
Horrible. Or yeah,
feels like with Jacoby Brissett, this is the best evaluation we've been able to get from them.
and
And
they look like shit.
yeah, and they don't look that great, but they also. But who do they have? It's like, is it a
Yeah,
coach problem? Is it a GM problem? Is it both problem? I don't really know. I don't know enough to say what the problem is, but I just know there's problems
yeah.
right there in
More
Arizona.
more money and more problems. Now, this is the matchup that I was talking about. This is for the number 1 overall pick in the draft. The loser of this game will have a really good chance of having a shot at whoever that's going to be number 1 overall pick. Giants at Raiders, the two worst teams in the NFL. Raiders lost today. The Giants lost today. They've done a lot of losing. And I'm going to go with the Giants on this one, honestly, because at least I trust Jackson Dart. At least I trust Jackson Dart to like do something interesting. I don't trust Geno Smith to even have a sniff in this game.
I mean, is Gino? I think Gino might be Dunzo.
Like as a athlete,
Did he play today? I thought he was.
oh, I thought he played.
Oh, he did. I didn't see any of it. I thought he was put down for the season. But yeah, no, I think this is a classic. Raiders are gonna win this game and then trade into the first overall pick with the Giants because they beat them this week. And I would put so much money on that happening.
You're going with the Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders are gonna win.
Nice, dude. They would do that. Win again. Win. They're gonna win the one game they should lose.
Exactly. And then
Like
they're
for
gonna
like real
pay,
reasons.
and then they're gonna give 3 first-round picks to the Giants to be in the draft where they could have been if they just didn't win this game.
And they're gonna draft someone that makes all the analysts go like, "Wait, we don't have this guy even in our binder."
Yeah, yeah. And then they're gonna take the 3rd best quarterback in the draft.
They're gonna draft like a nose tackle from British Columbia, and everyone's gonna be like, "What? Hold on a second. This guy played Canadian college football. We got to give us a moment to look up who this even is." Craig, this will be a next matchup here where I think we've now made it into. Yes, these are the Giants Raiders is the first afternoon game on Sunday, the 28th. This will be the 3:25 kickoff. Eagles at Bills. This is two teams that obviously Eagles coming off the Super Bowl win last season. Two teams that I think a lot of people thought were going to be a lot more dominant than they've turned out to be, that still have a shot at. The Eagles clinched their division, so there's that. Bills still have a shot at their division. As we give you a quick update, the Patriots did hit a 2-point conversion. It's now 21-24 with 6.5 minutes left. The Ravens have the ball, but these are two teams that aren't probably not as good as everyone thought they were going to be, but still have a chance to still fucking go all the ways. And I'm gonna go with the Bills on this one, honestly.
Yeah, Eagles. It feels like Eagles feels like just an off year for them, and Bills haven't looked unstoppable. But I believe in them pulling it together.
All right.
more than
Um,
the Eagles.
Now this is the Sunday night game, pretty big one. I'll be tuning in, folks. Hope you will too. It's Bears at 49ers. The Bears currently sit in first place in the NFC North. The 49ers are lurking down there in the NFC West. The 49ers have an outside, maybe not even an outside shot at the one seed. Like
Yeah.
if things like they have just been sort of in the shadows all season, just sitting there winning, like stacking up wins. Christian McCaffrey quietly is a comeback player of the year favorite. Like has a million touches. He's having a yards from scrimmage season for the books. And yes, they've been devastated by the injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but they can shock the world, frankly. I am going to pick the Bears in this game because I've sort of a tradition, pretty much. I'm picking the Bears every week. I don't know why, but I'm just riding with it. I'm having a lot of fun. The Bears are fun to watch, I think. I watched all the Bears games since I'm living here in Chicago, and
Oh yeah.
just a little fun addition to my Sundays. So I'm taking Bears, but I definitely think the 49ers have a very real shot at winning this game and their division and the one seed.
Well, that's because they are going to win this game.
I didn't have to.
Bears.
I wrote that down already. I didn't think you were going to pick the Bears on this one.
I think if the Bears would have lost, I think their odds would have gone up to win this game, but because playoff teams bounce back. But yeah, I think they left a lot out on the field, and I think just a team like the Niners who have been there, done that, and can kind of have big games and recover. I think the Bears are just going to need to catch their breath, and I think the Niners are going to punch them in the gut when they do. So, yeah, taking the Niners.
Caleb back home in California. I'll probably have some friends cheering for him. Should be a good one.
Yeah,
And of course,
he's going to be hungover.
had too much milk the previous night. This was the Monday night game. We're looking at Rams at Falcons. The Falcons are talk about moribund. I mean, who even cares? This is a bummer. It's kind of a waste of a really cool, fun season from Bijan Robinson. Somebody who they need to get someone in there that can figure out what to do with that, because that is between Bijan and Michael Penis Jr. and Kyle Pitts and Drake London. Like, that should be a top 5 offense in the NFL. Like, it's crazy that they're not even really like close to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rams in this one for me.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams, but I gotta be honest. This kind of like the Raiders. This is a classic Falcons game to win. Well, actually, no, I take that back because they don't have their first round pick. So they're gonna lose. Yeah. And it's gonna
The
be a double
Falcons are gonna
whammy
lose.
because and it's not gonna be helpful to them because they gave the Rams their first round pick, and so it's double. Yeah, the Falcons aren't winning this game.
They gave the That's so stupid. Yeah, that's week 17 of what we think it's gonna look like. Do you have any parting thoughts for our beautiful audience? Or any plugs?
Yeah, listen to Lone Rock Bride on Spotify.
Hell yeah, dude. I can
And
vouch for that.
follow our socials on all the platforms. We're gonna be in Chicago May 23rd.
Whoa!
Well, that's the plan, at least. We don't have a venue yet, so it could change weekends, but that's the weekend we're shooting for.
That's sick, dude. I'm gonna make it this time. I'm taking the day off work. Swear to God. Check him out. Check out Lone Rock Bride. David is the drummer. He's I call him the Neil Peart of alt country.
Yeah.
So check him out. Check us out. Check everything out, dude. It rocks. We love you.
Oh,
Bye.
bye.
Oh,
I was gonna say just watch the Packers and don't forget to support them. They could really use a lot of good messages and vibes right now. But But yeah, that's all. Thanks for having me.
Don't forget to support.
Just in case anyone it slipped their minds. Their game's on Saturday. You got to remember. You can't wait till Sunday. So you got to wish them good luck before Saturday.